Don't you love how colorful this is? Yeah, I could have made it black and white. Apparently you save a lot of money when you make it black and white. But you know what that does? It doesn't inspire you. I want you to carry this everywhere with you. I want to inspire you every time you see it. It's vibrant, it's colorful, like I'd like your life to be. You're having fun with this course, aren't you? Yeah, and by the way, if you do, feel free to drop me an email, tell me how much you're loving it, and share it with somebody who you know also would like to get what? Finally fit. I love that, finally fit. It feels really good, by the way, to know that I haven't been on a diet in 10, 15 years. But I grew up, that's all I did. In fact, I was in a Broadway show with Christopher Reeve, yeah, the guy who played Superman, and I was humiliated into going to Overeaters Anonymous. I was like 25, 30 pounds overweight. Overweight. By the way, when you looked at me and I look at all the pictures, I don't see overweight. Not compared to tiny Hollywood actresses, but I was made to feel really bad. So my goal here is to make you feel what? Really, really good. And there's no diet. So I'm going to read this. This is the most important thing you need to know. Now remember, 1, on my course, if you bite it, what? Write it. Yes. Because every little taste, every little morsel that you have, once you start to have to write it, you're going to make smarter choices. Yeah, I have a lot of faith in you. That's why we're doing this together. Number 2, consistency is the name of the game. I want 42 days out of your entire life. And I promise you, I guarantee, you do 42 days consecutively, and things will change for the better. How do I know that? I've taken hundreds of people through this course. In fact, there's user groups all over the country now of people for accountability who do this group as groups. What a great idea. So if you don't like being on your own, start your own group or reach out to us. Maybe we can help you find a group. So the number 3, take this everywhere. See how thin it is? Yeah, I kind of wish I was that thin some days. Yeah, it fits right in your pocketbook. Don't make any excuses. Don't leave it at home. Or, you know, I have had one of my clients say something, and this is kind of funny now that smartphones go with you. If you really forget your journal, take a photo of everything that you ate at a meal and do it at home. But you've got to do it within the time you get home, or you will forget. This is the secret. You do your part, I guarantee my part works. I've seen it over and over. You don't even have to believe that it works. Just do it. Walk with faith. Number 4, do the exercises. Yeah, these aren't physical exercises. No, I'm going to get that in the next lesson. I'm going to share with you why I created this the way I did and why it works so effectively for everyone. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're young, old, or how much weight you have to lose. This system works for who? For everyone. So if your mom or your neighbor or your coworker is struggling, give them EAT. It's an amazing gift to change people's lives. And you can do it just by saying, hey, try this. And then number 5, you're not on a diet. How cool is that? Okay, crazy story. I did the Beverly Hills diet. Oh my gosh, I was in New York City in the dead of winter, and I was being put down by everybody. And I'm a good enough actress to get put down because I was on a soap opera. I was on Broadway, and everywhere I went, they would put me on a diet. They go, can you please lose this? Can you please lose that? So I found this great diet. The diet had to do with fruit. It started out with papaya and mangoes on day 1. Great fruits, by the way. The pectin and the acids in a papaya will eat away your fat. Pineapple is awesome for that as well. You did that on day 1. It was papaya, pineapple, papaya. Then it was like watermelon on day 3 and all these. Okay, I was in New York City in December. Remember what I talked in an earlier lesson about get things that are local? Try and get a fresh pineapple and papaya in New York City in 20-degree weather. By the way, I'm so good at this now, I can spot a ripe papaya at like 2,000 feet. Yeah, I know, that one's ripe. The worst part was, like day 6, you had grapes. Like that, you ate grapes. This is how crazy this diet was, okay? I understand the idea of food combining, but this was a little radical. But I was committed to this diet yet again because I'd lost and I'd failed so many times. My dad came in New York City to take me to dinner, big family dinner. And I brought my bag of grapes. I set it on the plate, and he looks at me in his wonderful New York accent and said, what are you doing? You gonna eat those for dinner? And I'm like, I'm on a diet, Dad. He's like, no, you're not eating that. You're gonna have a real dinner. I'm paying for your dinner. God rest him. It was sad because I made him feel really bad, and I was on some crazy, silly diet that ultimately didn't work. It worked for the moment, but long term, this is a lifestyle. The title of this course is what? Finally Fit. Yeah, and that's what I want you to do. So, you've got your diet with you, you're not on a diet, I don't want you to make any radical changes. In fact, for the first week, you're going to love me for this. Don't make any changes. What? No, seriously, don't make any changes. For the first week, what I really encourage you to do is take your little pen, and I have one right here, and I want you to write down everything you normally eat. Take a snapshot, a look at what you eat daily. and see how that affects your body. What little changes could you make? You know, here's a little secret about change. If you like sailboats, if you change 1 degree over time, you're in a very different place. Don't change everything. Right now, all I've asked you to do is to open up. We're in week 1. And I want you to jump in wholeheartedly, leap, and the net will appear. And if you're not motivated enough, I have little things and little posters that say, leap, and the net will appear. I know what it's like to jump off a cliff. Okay, one of my all-time favorite stories. There's a whole group, and the leader is pushing them closer and closer to the edge. And they're all a little scared, they're all a little afraid, they're not quite sure what's going to happen. And he keeps pushing them closer and closer to the edge. Finally, they're literally teetering on the edge. And finally, he shoves them, and they fly. That's what I want you to do. You have no idea your potential until you take that leap. And that's what I guarantee you. Take a leap of faith. If you bite it, write it. Week 1. There it is. It's beautiful. It's big. It's bold. Fill as many spaces as you can. Don't judge yourself. Be nice. Be loving. Just write it. And then, ready, set, go. I want you to write down everything you're thinking, feeling. Just mind dump. What's stuck in your head? Are you angry at this person? You're holding on to that resentment. Write it down and let it go. That's what keeps most of us overweight. We just stuffed it in. Our emotions. We're lonely. I get that. You're going to change that. By the way, well, here's another thing about some of my friends who have been very badly hurt. They've chose to stuff it down. So we're going to go through a mental cleansing. We're going to let some of that go. Whatever bad happened to you is not happening right now, if it was something in the past. You're holding on to a memory. Look at your computer screen. You have the ability to go up to any file you want and click delete and it goes away. You do not need to hold on to things that are not happening to you right now. Your mom told you 10 years ago that you look fat in that outfit and you're still hanging on to that. Let it go. And if you say, wait, how do I do that? Just trust. Trust in the exercise. Because the next exercise is commit. I want you to commit to 3 things that you want to achieve this week. And why? Wow. Did anyone ever ask you what you personally want to commit? It's not about a company or goals or finances. What do you want to achieve? The first one should probably be, I just want to do what Forbes Riley said. I just want to make sure I write something every day. Here's how simple number 2 can be. I want to commit to drinking 8 glasses of water every day. I might want to commit to spin gymming for 5 minutes every day. And in case you don't know what I just said about spin gymming, that's my fitness product. You can find that down below. What if I told you 5 minutes a day? That's all you need to. Don't make yourself nuts. Here's one more thing I'm going to share with you. If you've been through some painful stuff, and I venture to say that if you're in this program, something bad might have happened to you. I'm there. I had my foster son murdered. That sounds pretty bad. I could have eaten over that. I had one of my best friends shot and killed in a pharmacy in Long Beach. One of his coworkers just shot and killed him, father of 2. I could have eaten over that. My dog died. I could have eaten over that. I love my guy. He was 11 years old, love of my life. He died. I get it. Both my parents died within a year. I get it. Keep going. So just no, come on, let's go tragedy to tragedy. No, wait, mine's worse. I survived 9/11. Yeah. And there's some days that I go, really? I survived 9/11? Want to hear the story? Got a minute? Okay. So my parents had just passed away, both of them. House that I grew up in, 40 years. And I'm in Albany with the ESPN X Games. I helped create that with Stuart Scott. And I was flying from Albany to Washington back home to California. And I stopped to clean up my mom's house. I changed my ticket, United First Class, Flight 193, to the morning of September 11th. Who knew? You never know, right? And so the night of September 10th, I'm in New York. My sister drives me to LaGuardia Airport, and I walk into the front desk, and it's about 5 o'clock. I've packed up everything that I grew up in. My mom and dad, their house is done. And the woman behind the counter says to me, she said, where are you going to sleep tonight? I thought, how very brash of her. I said, no, it's 5 o'clock. You're flying into Washington. You have a hotel booked. I said, no, I don't. I'll just sleep in the lobby. I don't know. She said, well, that's just silly. You're United First Class. How about I just reroute you through Denver? I never got her name. But the next morning at 9 a.m. when I woke up in California, alive and happy and healthy, and my sister called me to turn on the news, the plane that left didn't make it. It's somewhere in a field in Pennsylvania, I think. Okay. Yay, that's kind of cool. I'll go one step further. That same morning, my brother-in-law is a New York City fireman. He worked Ladder 33, Engine 9, quarter mile north of the World Trade Center in the Bowery. I spent years, me and my sister, that's how she fell in love with him, at the firehouse. Cutest guys. Oh my God, they do 24 hours. We would do workouts, we'd eat, we'd camp out. I mean, I love these guys, all 10 of them. My brother-in-law was the 10th. And on the morning of September 11th, as they always did, they answered the call, because that's what they do. See, firemen are people who, when the building is burning, they run in when everyone else is running out. And my brother-in-law, it wasn't his day to be there, so he got up at 8:30 in the morning, heard that there was a tragedy, he needed to get into New York City, something was going down, he got in his car. But the 9 guys that slept there that night, they got in their fire truck and they went down, and they were all killed when the second building came down. And there's a picture that he posts every year of their fire truck just covered in soot. Like that. 9 guys that I spent from high school on growing up with. Fathers, husbands, brothers. Truly loved those guys. They were gone in a heartbeat. I could sit here and I could lament. I could be really sad. One day a year I get a little sad. My brother-in-law survived. And it's funny because every year you'll see him. His name is Danny Rowan. He carries all 9 guys in his pocket no matter what he does. And he lives now in Arizona. And he's a police detective, and he's an amazing guy. He did his 20 years for the fire department in New York City, and I honor him and all the men and women who served, especially the 343 that died that day. I don't dwell on this. I don't dwell on Dexter being murdered and left for dead right outside of USC. I don't. I just don't. Because if I did, I'd never get out of bed. I'd never put down the cupcake to stuff all that down. Okay? I'm not going to continue on, but I'll tell you what. I get out of bed every day. You know why? I found some reasons. That's part of what these exercises do for you. What's your reason for getting out of bed today? Is it your kids? Is it your dog? Is it because you're helping your neighbor? Do something for someone else if you can't get out of your own way, if your life is so miserable. I've got a girlfriend of mine right now. She's 20 years old. She's dying of cancer. She can't get out of bed. She probably won't see the end of the month. Her mom posts every day on Facebook. And so we're all going on this journey. Most of us have done what we can. We've sent gifts and flowers and funny videos. She's not going to get out of bed. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It's not that bad. I know that. I've seen bad. Bad is when they close the coffin. It's pretty much the end. That's when it's over. Short of that, what are you doing with your life? How happy can you be? How happy can you spread to other people? There are little kids in orphanages everywhere in this country who could sure use you to show up and read a story to them. Bring them a stuffed animal. There's a company that I work with called Dress for Success. You got some clothes that you don't like, maybe you got fired, I don't know, and you're angry at your boss. Well, I'll tell you what, those women have no clothes, and they come to this organization to get a suit so they can go in an interview to get their life back. Can you mentor them? I can give you 150 ways to Sunday that you can be of service to somebody else, and I'll tell you what, that will change your life. That's your reason to get out of bed. Find one. No more complaining, no more bitching. Trust me, that's not what you want to be doing with the life that you've got. This is such a gift. Let's make it worthwhile, okay? So to that end, I'm going to ask you to keep going. Write down 5 things that make you happy and why. After all of that, I ask you to write down 5 things that make you happy. Here's what I want you to do. 1 exercise a day. Give me 5 minutes. Watch what happens. Dig down. What does make you happy? Does watching a sunset? For me, you know what makes me happy? Seeing a newborn baby. I go up, people must think I'm a stalker. My twins are now 13. I love seeing little babies in carriages. I love seeing their eyes. I know how innocent they are. And don't have an and list for happy. Well, to be happy, I have to be in love, and I have to be a size 2, and I have to have 2 cars, and don't do that. Here's the secret to happiness. Change your and to an or. Here's the ors. I have to be a size 2, or I have to see a little baby, or I have to see the sunrise, or I have to remember that I am loved and wonderful, or I'm giving back, or come my birthday, everybody on Facebook, I got 400 people who wish me happy birthday, or one of those should make you happy. And with that happiness, keep going forward. See, this was the problem. This is why I was overweight. I didn't know how to be happy. I waited for all these things I had to be an actress, I had to get awards, No. That's never all going to happen. What are 5 things that make you happy? So don't do all these exercises at once. I'm just kind of giving you an overview of what I think week 1 is. I'm a little emotional right now, so I'm going to close down this lesson if that's okay with you, and I'll see you in the next one.